What is the WRDSB Student Census? The Student Census is a voluntary survey that asks about the diverse identities of all students in the WRDSB. All parents and guardians of students from kindergarten to grade 3 and all students in grades 4 and up will be invited to participate in this important project.
Why are we collecting information about student identities? The Ontario Human Rights Commission found that identity-based data collection can play an essential role in creating strong human rights and equity-seeking strategies. The Student Census is an important part of the WRDSB's efforts to identify and eliminate discrimination and discriminatory barriers for all our students.
How was the Student Census developed? The Student Census strategy aligns with the guidance of Ontario's data standards for the identification and monitoring of systemic racism. WRDSB staff consulted with students, diverse community members, Ontario's Education Equity Secretariat, and other Ontario school boards to ensure that our student census uses the best advice and best strategies available.
What questions will the census ask? The census focuses on the individual identity information of all the students in the WRDSB. The questions will ask about Indigenous identity, racial identity, ethnic identity, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, religious affiliation, disability status, and household community information.
How will we protect the privacy of students and families? The Student Census is confidential, but it is not anonymous. The WRDSB is committed to protecting the privacy of all the students and families. Only a small number of WRDSB research and IT staff will be able to see individual student census answers. They will only be allowed to see individual answers when it is necessary for doing research and preparing reports. In all student census reports, each student's information will be combined with the information of other students so that no one will be able to identify any individual student's information. The WRDSB student census process follows all provincial freedom of information and privacy laws.
How will we use what we've learned? The student census results will be used to promote awareness about the diversity of students in the WRDSB. Student census reports will be shared throughout the school board to the Ministry of Education and to the public. What we learn from the student census will also support the WRDSB's efforts to meet our equity and inclusion goals and to meet high expectations for all learners. The WRDSB's goals include increased Indigenous and anti-racist learning, safer schools, diverse learning strategies, increased access to programs and courses, and increased student engagement strategies.
How do you complete the student census? Students will receive the student census through their WRDSB student email. They will be supported to complete the census during class time for both in-person and distance learning students. Parents and guardians will also receive the census by email. The census can be completed on any electronic device with an internet connection. Translation support and paper copies of the census will be available to meet targeted needs of families and students.
The WRDSB student census is important. This is not just another survey. To respond to the diverse needs of all of our students, we need to hear from as many students, parents, and guardians as possible. The WRDSB is committed to learning from you and making our schools more supportive and inclusive for each and every student.
Do you have questions about the WRDSB student census?